for a while, I felt like my life was cursed. But all that was happening was that I had blockages, which were obstacles, to feeling blessed because of aspects of myself that I wasn't comfortable with acknowledging or allowing to be expressed. But if it's in us, it has to come out sooner or later, or else we just get dried up like a husk, drifting further and further away from our emotions and further from God, the source of all life, you know? So, that filthy, nasty, sticky treacle of a shadow that we ignore, we take our awareness off, while it still comes out, maybe less obviously, but more frequently. So, when we give to our shadow, not give in, we can understand it, but also the shadow, the darkness, gives back to us. There are things, characteristics of us as a human, which might not make much sense, but the capacity to lie, cheat, steal, be lustful, callously walk away from people without any concern, you know, which is tantamount to murder, right? Really, sort of. Well, if that's in us, but we choose to carry it instead of unburden ourselves by being a compassionate witness for it, regardless of the consequences, regardless of what other people think, that is standing in our truth, in our power. That is to stand as a whole being that is not fragmented or cut off from aspects of oneself. Fully unified, accepting, loving, compassionate, you know. How can we expect anybody else to witness us compassionately if we can't do that for ourselves? How do we expect to be able to hold the space for other people's darkness to fully unfurl itself, which is a great service we could do and can do and do for each other, unless we know what it means to do that for us? We're the only one that we can bank on in this life to be the safe space for any of that nonsense, right? So, for whatever reason, the perversions and distortions that have existed in us, we can be free of them. But first, we have to grant ourselves the freedom to be them, whatever that means, and no, not causing actual harm with ill will or intent. But when you are in the present moment as the observer, compassionate witness, you don't form value judgments, you don't intend for anything to happen, you just see it happen, you just watch it. It takes a very strong, brave soul to see things that the heart doesn't want to see. See things that make our toes curl up and our soul shrivel. But the point is, nothing is beyond redemption. Ultimately, it's just a hologram. So I'm learning to be comfortable with aspects of my sexual awareness that might not sit right in terms of what is godly. Maybe it's not godly to call things ungodly. Our Creator made no mistakes. If this truly is an experience for learning and to enjoy and appreciate every facet of creation, whilst minimizing the damage to our own soul and others, then why should we not be free to let it all hang out and stand proud in whatever form our shape-shifting monster angel takes? The things we fantasize about are far more dangerous in recurring fantasy than the actuality of it happening once and for all, to know what it would be like. Because that's finally using gravity to pull down so many potential now moments that we have dreamed up in our personal viewing space. Fantasy and obsession are dangerous, really. It's like a double dose of ignorance and darkness. Because when we are imagining something, our vessel doesn't know the difference between imagining and it actually happening. But if it's not actually happening, and if there are other people involved, well, you can see it's like pulling on somebody's energy for the sake of your own private pantomime, rather than biting the bullet and saying, well, I would love to come and sit on your face, or other such. Did I just really, I really just said that? Like, it's okay, isn't it? Everything is allowed. And if it's not, we have to ask ourselves why we are the one disallowing it. And is that fair game? There are no rules, are there?